Every morning I saw her at the gym. I saw her because she stood out, not because she was loud or a flirt. No, she was quiet, focused, alone. She was always alone. She wore mainly white joggers or leggings, occasionally black and a fitted long-sleeve top. She didn't listen to music, no headphones, hair pulled back in a tight bun. She was beautiful though, impossible to ignore. Plush lips, thick, dark lashes, skin like golden silk. And her scent, it was an impossible mix of deep and sweet oud, the kind that lingered in the air even after she walked by. Smoky, sugary, ancient, expensive. I found myself taking deep breaths whenever I was near her, hoping to memorize the smell. It made my chest hurt and my mind wander to places it had no business going. She never smiled, never spoke, but sometimes she looked at me. When she did, it felt like the world slowed down. I was married, or so the gold band on my finger suggested, and she was too, or so the black diamond ring adorning her left hand implied. But that didn't stop the looks we exchanged. It didn't stop the heat building inside me each day like a fire with no outlet. We began to move around each other silently, orbiting machines, mirrors, mats, until one day she appeared beside me at the stretching area. "Your form's slipping," she said. She was so close, her words brushing against my skin. I jumped, startled, turning to face her. Startled, confused. She was breathtaking up close. Her dark brown eyes held something deep, unreadable. Before I could reply, she was already walking away. The next morning she handed me a note, a folded square of paper, the address written in bold strokes, and a time. Below it, one line, alone. I arrived just before midnight. The house was tucked into a dead-end street, half lit by a flickering neon lamp. I almost turned back, but then the door opened. She stood there framed in the light wearing a silk robe. Her wavy highlighted hair was down now, cascading over her shoulders. And that scent, that heady mix of oud, it enveloped me. She didn't speak at first, but then her eyes locked with mine, and she stepped aside. "Thank you for coming," she whispered, her voice husky. Then she turned and walked deeper into the house. I followed. She led me to a narrow staircase. "Come downstairs," she said. "There's something I want to give to you." The basement was unfinished. Concrete floors, walls, a single bulb overhead. A metal drain sat like an open mouth in the center of the floor. In front of it, a chair, a mirror, and a small silver tray placed carefully on a stool. I turned to speak, to ask what this was. But before I could, her lips were on mine. She kissed me deeply, warmly, fully. Then her mouth traveled lower. She leaned forward and sank to her knees. She looked up at me and whispered, "I've wanted you so bad since the first time I laid eyes on you." Then she took me into her mouth. She took me deep, slow, steady. My whole body trembled. I arched into her, trying to make sense of it, to understand why she was doing this to me. She knew exactly what she was doing. Her lips were silk, her tongue moving with a precision that belied years of practice, of patience. And then she stopped abruptly. She looked up at me and finally she smiled, the corners of her mouth curving up slowly, revealing a flash of white teeth. But it wasn't a soft smile. It was predatory. "Men like you," she said, her voice now louder, cutting through the silence, "always think they're in control, even when they're cheating." I froze. She continued, "You thought you came here to take something, but you were always here to lose." Then pain, blinding, explosive, unimaginable. I screamed, or tried to, but the sound came out broken, wet. Blood spilled fast. It stained her hands, the floor, the drain. I collapsed backward, grabbing at myself, breath catching in my throat. She knelt beside me again, calm, still, her eyes shining in the dim light. "I don't hate men," she whispered, her gaze locked to mine. "I just hate the ones who lie to their wife and kids." She didn't kill me. She let me bleed, let me live, let me crawl out into the night. They found me hours later, bloodied and shaking, trying to whisper a name no one could understand. I survived, but I don't go to gyms anymore. I don't talk about what happened. I avoid mirrors and perfume aisles and white silk. But sometimes when I sleep, I smell her again. Her sweet, smoky oud. And I wake up gasping, hands between my legs, terrified that she's come back to finish the job.